fun thing to go to. They're doing a lot of these Apex cards. They talked about they may do a lot more of the Apex cards because they make more money off of them. I think like it's the gambling that drives that, because uh, people it doesn't feel like the message boards are as active, and it doesn't feel like people are watching stuff and talking about it as much. Um, like it's far past the peak, but they're locked into their TV deals and they still have the eyeballs they need, and they're making the money they need to. And I think I really strongly feel that it's the gambling that is driving it.
I want to ask you something though, now that you just said that, because I was talking to James Orme yesterday, and it was something we were thinking about but couldn't really figure out. You've been a part of these big shows. Um, how do you think they could make more money working at the Apex than getting like a huge, gigantic gate?
Um, because they don't have the cost. They don't have the cost. They don't have to
Right.
spend as much to put on the show. Everything's in-house. Everything's already set up. They don't have to tear down. The overhead's lower, I believe, even though they have the big gate and um the big uh site fees in a lot of these places. I feel like they do such good numbers, and they're making most of their money now off of the TV deals rather than the pay-per-view model. The pay-per-view model was what they used to do in the beginning. They had to have big shows and big arenas and get a bunch of people in the arena and sell a lot of pay-per-views. Well, now they have locked in guaranteed money ahead of time, and all they got to do is produce the shows, and they make more money that way. And then they get the money from sponsors and ad revenue stuff from that, like that's overtaken the pay-per-view model. So like they may phase out pay-per-views altogether just because they're making so much guaranteed money just cranking out shows. And it seems like that's why I think it's the boxing, not the boxing, but it's the gambling that's driving a lot of the stuff because it's not, oh, they're not awesome cards. They're not awesome matchups, but like people are still gambling on the lesser known fights.
That's an interesting theory. Because we did talk about, the lower overhead. Obviously, James Wormey's been involved in production, but he was still saying, those gates are so big. How does it offset it that much? But you're saying, yeah,
I mean, maybe. And then the uh maybe the headache
right.
is just a lot harder to get those cards going in together than the Apex.
Yeah, James called it the hassle factor.
Yep.